Hey guys, and welcome back. We are watching SPI right now. It just broke 1315. Wow, this thing is absolutely rocketing today, and I'm super stoked, even though I'm not trading it anymore because it's been since like July since we've seen a gapper like this, and we've been spoiled in Q1 and Q2 of the year day trading. We're just getting absolutely wicked runners all the time, and lately we've been in a bit of a dry spell in terms of small cap gappers. So even though I didn't milk this one as much as I could have, I'm just ecstatic about seeing the opportunities come back into the market and knowing that we might be seeing more of these opportunities, which means day traders are going to be getting more aggressive, which means we're going to see a bit more fall through. We're going to be seeing more spikes. We're going to be seeing better breakouts. So this is, to me, is just an overall indicator that the action might be back in the small cap sector, which I'm super stoked about, regardless on how much money I made on this one today. We are ending green and we're talking about all the trades, but at the same time, yeah, we did leave a lot of money on the table. But honestly, who cares? Tomorrow's another day, and I plan on doing this for a much longer time. It's all about, sustainability, surviving till the next day, not, blowing up on any one trade. And that's really what we're doing here. So who cares, if you missed one trade or you could have done a little bit better today, you can always do a little bit better, trust me. So don't beat yourself up about missing a ticker or having a red day or something like that. You can beat yourself up a little bit if you blatantly broke rules or, held onto a bag or something like that, because those are costly mistakes that really should not be happening. But everyone's got to learn and everyone's got to make mistakes to improve. Whew, just flushed back to 1080. Wow, this ticker's intense. So today I want to focus on, obviously, on SPI. Besides talking about, where I think this might go, I want to really be focused on how I trade these kind of tickers, what I think about, if I want to trade these things overnight in swing trading. But really, how do you make money on a ticker like this, especially if you come to it a little bit late in the game? What do we look for pre-market, and how do you trade something that is moving like this? A lot of good stuff to review today, guys. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoy the content, and if you're totally new here, don't forget we go live every morning at 9:15 a.m. to review the watches, then trade the market open. Would love to see you there. So don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon too. Join the community. You'll absolutely love it. Let's go to the charts now. All right, guys, so welcome back here. Here's our quick little recap on what we traded today. We're up $479, similar to yesterday. Didn't get too aggressive on anything. Definitely missed out on a lot of moves, which is totally fine. It's about, taking profits when you have them. And, that's what I did. I felt like, I wasn't really super in the flow, so I didn't get super aggressive on something like SPI. Let's go ahead and review all these different tickers, and I want to focus a bit more on SPI, what I think could maybe happen. I just came back from a bit of a break after trading pre-market and the market open. Didn't trade over lunch. So let's do the recap now. Let's actually just get it out of the way. VT. This popped up for a short little spot, midget of a moment. Let's scroll back here. This was 13 million float, US biotech with positive phase 2 type 1 diabetes study. Kind of interesting. I was like, okay, this is not too bad, because this was early on when we had POAI and MNOV only as our lead gappers. And then this was kind of the third one. I bought it on a little bit of a dip here, around 2.3. I was looking for a little bit bigger support. Actually, my goal was to actually buy this around 2.23, but it looks like we're going to see a lot of support here. And I thought we were going to see a bigger move. I kind of got, I don't know, I didn't have the confidence behind this one, and I just kind of closed it. And then it was dropping on volume, and I had a feeling I wouldn't be looking at it anymore, so that was pretty much the case. MNOV, this was one of our lead gappers here on the day. 40 million float, US biotech, coronavirus, intranasal antibody success on some of their trials, so this is looking pretty good. The problem with MNOV is it sold off so much that it disappeared off my gap scanner, and I think it disappeared off of many people's gap scanner. And it's been pretty much selling off here. Didn't have a lot of relative volume. It just wasn't that hot of a ticker today. Not to mention the upside potential on this one was a little bit limited here at the big resistance at 7. So we opened up higher and then we pretty much sold off ever since. And that's kind of what it felt like pre-market already. I actually ended up trading this one little time here, looking for, a breakout here. I bought the pullback looking for a continuation. Didn't see the momentum. Kind of closed here. Took a 1 cent profit. It was kind of ridiculous, but hey, it wasn't a loss. Bought another dip here. Big support here around 6.8. We had a nice breakout and a pullback. Similar trade here, but on the reverse, instead of buying the breakout pullback, I'm buying the first bounce. That's a pretty clean trade here. Made about 10 cents a share. And then I was looking for this to be a red to green move. I was waiting for the crack here around 6.3 to like the low sixes. That was my ideal red to green trade. Never got that, so I never really ended up getting too aggressive. But around like 950, we had one quick move above the EMA. You guys will probably remember that one. I bought the pullback here. It was the same 1 minute, and I was looking for a move back to VWAP. But on the way up, it was just so much selling momentum that we closed MNOV. It's a little bit hard to see kind of here because now VWAP's expanded quite a bit. That was really the very simple quick trade, and actually very simple moves on MNOV kind of allow us to walk away with $150 profit on that one. So that was kind of sick. I'm pretty happy about that. SPI, this one, I mean, this is the hot one today for sure. And I gotta say, like, I don't even care that I missed a lot of this move. I'm super stoked that we're seeing Elite Gapper, and I was saying this pre-market when it was up 200%. It's amazing to see Elite Gappers back in action. It wasn't since like July where we were seeing these constant like nice moves. And honestly, the first, second, and half of the first third quarter, we were seeing moves like 1, 2, 3, 400% lead gappers all the time, almost on a daily and already pre-market. So we were super spoiled. It was really nice. And then like mid to late summer, it was like nothing. I mean, we were like happy getting away with a few basic scalpy trades because we just weren't seeing a lot of upside potential. So let's kind of zoom here to pre-market a little bit and let's talk about SPI because this one had a really nice initial run. I was watching this run. I almost bought it here at 230 and I removed my limit order because I was like, you know, we're not seeing stocks really going over 100%. So I think this is big resistance here. And I pretty much decided not to trade this run up. And I was like, what is going on right now? So I'm super stoked to see momentum back in play. That's number one. So this is a 15 million float. It's a Hong Kong solar company. Apparently, they launched a new EV subsidiary. Now, you guys all know EV stocks are lately very hot, but we also know that EV stocks are kind of all overextended. If it's anything from something really credible like Tesla to something extremely not so credible like NKLA, they're all a little bit overextended. They all had huge run-ups in the last pretty much all of 2020, and now they're all kind of selling off, and they've all had big cracks of momentum. Even at Tesla after Battery Day, which was actually a pretty good, overall news with, big batteries, one battery that could last the whole car's lifetime, yada, yada, all this like really impressive news. And this is something we were saying for weeks now, is just like, it doesn't really matter unless they are coming out with something like extremely, like, I don't know, something we couldn't even imagine. It was already priced in. At Tesla's short term, their stock price is just absolutely high. So like, I just felt like, just like before the stock split, we were saying, previously stock splits, large caps, they always tend to sell off after the stock split. So, take your profits, buy the rumor, sell the news, and that's pretty much what how I've been feeling about a lot of these large caps, especially in the EV sector. So here we have SPI. Yeah, it has a micro news, right? We were looking for micro news, so something specific to the company. And then, it helps if there's like a macro trend behind that news, which there is. And I was thinking, okay, the trend is dying a little bit, but at the same time, it might still be at that peak of the momentum. That's kind of what we saw with SPI today, for sure. And who knows, it might not be over. And this move was actually absolutely crazy. Now, in the chat room today, in the live stream, I was really kind of pessimistic here. I was like, we've had a lot of tops here at around 655. I don't really see it blowing past that area. Not to mention the long-term chart on SPI is very, very bearish, right? There's a lot of dilution. This stock only goes in one direction, and that's to the downside. And if you see here, you'll notice that there's like a lot of like small little volume spikes, and you're thinking, wait, is this like the most? What was that? Is this the most volume we've ever seen on SPI? No, not really, because it constantly has these spikes. SPI has a lot of dilution going on. So there's a lot of new new shares being thrown into the market. It was never at $5,000. This is the accumulation of reverse splits and dilution. So let's kind of go back here to the daily chart. So I was like really thinking it won't really see these high levels anymore. But hey, I was wrong. We broke right past 7 and went all the way to 930 or 940, something like that. 9.5 is roughly bigger resistance based on what we've kind of mapped out here in the past. here in these zones, identifying some key support and resistance as well. I don't know if it's going to go higher than this, but you just never know. And I was saying this on the live stream that, you know, as a day trader, our goal is not to predict anything. We're not trying to predict what's going to happen with a stock. What we're doing is we're looking for good setups. We're looking for good risk reward setups. We're taking our profit when the setup works, and we're cutting our losses quickly when the setup doesn't work, right? And a lot of setups have a high probability of, you know, going to the upside or going to the downside, and we kind of trade based on that, right? A lot of my setups are based on very clear support and resistance. I like to keep it very basic because if it's simple, it means a lot of people understand it and a lot of people are looking at it. And the more traders looking at something, the more chances of it working, because it's kind of a little bit of self-fulfilling prophecy, right? If everyone thinks it's going to bounce off $3, it might bounce off $3 because that's where everyone's trying to buy, right? So let's kind of go here. I didn't actually end up trading SPI in these areas. This is when it was up like 250, and I was like, ooh, this is pretty high. But when it didn't dip lower all the way till 10 o'clock, I was like, this is a huge bullish sign. We never dipped here lower than like 6-7% from the open, right? That's very bullish. We never really went that much lower below VWAP. And every time we try to crush down here or dip down here, there were so many dip buyers. And I was saying this consistently. I was like, guys, there's so many buyers. And I'm sure you guys noticed that as well. When you're on the order book, like these things typically sell off much more aggressively, and then it couldn't, right? Like right here when we had the big VWAP 90 EMA retest, actually was this one. Typically on a small cap, you would expect it to flush down here, right? It didn't do it. It just constantly held its highs. So when we actually broke higher here, I was like, I love this. And this is my first entry here. I bought in the pullback and sold right away on the continuation. Had a bit of a bull flag pattern, did another trade here, and then one more trade here on the breakout. Very, very simple stuff. I could have held this one a little bit longer, but I kind of chickened out a little bit. This move here was a bit unprecedented. Like, I was really surprised it had this move. But actually, when we did have this move, and we are slowly moving back to the 9 EMA, I felt very bullish on entering around the 9 EMA, and I'll tell you why. So I oftentimes only buy pullbacks when there's a little bit more confirmation. If it's a 5-minute setup, or if it's, I don't know, some sort of other kind of indicator that it's not going to be a fake out. And when you have a move that goes higher and we have a 1-minute candle that kind of holds the high, it's so important that it holds the high. I feel much more confident on a move like that. So just like this, we broke higher, we had a 1-minute candle that held the high and then continued the move upside. We had a big breakout here, but we didn't flush to the downside. It wasn't a failed breakout. This is a big confirmation that this is a successful breakout. And maybe it's a little overextended short term, but this is a healthy move, and that's why I felt confident in buying the 9 EMA. Obviously sold too soon, but hey, taking profits is the name of the game. So let's go over here. Right now, it's actually trying to break $10. This is absolutely insane, this ticker. Yeah, so at 10:30, I typically wrap up trading. So that's why I kind of didn't trade it here. I do regret one thing today, and that's at 10:41. This thing perfectly hit 410 or 411, exactly the price I wanted to buy it on initially for a dip. And the reason I wanted to buy it at 410 is because here was the big resistance zone, right? We tried to break through it, didn't work. We tried it again, didn't work. We officially broke through it, and now we're having a retest in this area. I love buying retests. Unfortunately, I didn't buy this retest because it was kind of past my trading time, but I wouldn't be breaking any rules. I say I like wrapping up at 10:30 because if I don't see any opportunities, I'm getting a little bit like, I'm starting to not overtrade, but like I'm getting kind of tired, right? If I start watching the market at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and now it's already 10:30, that's a lot of time to be watching the markets. That's 3.5 hours. So like, I need to put a limit, right? Because I don't want to get sloppy. But if there's good opportunities, I don't mind trading into 11 o'clock, and I've sometimes even traded into 12 o'clock. That happened a lot first and second quarter. So I don't mind doing it, but at the same time, I need to watch out a little bit because, in the last, few weeks, we didn't have any opportunities. Anyway, this would have been a really, really good trade in this area. I could have easily walked away with 3-4% on this move alone. It was a 7% move, but I don't know if I would have got the whole move because I don't try to get the whole move. I just try to take a portion of the move. Ended up being a 14% move total. Yeah, and then we started pulling up here, having nice pullbacks to the 9 EMA, really strong pullbacks. Eventually, we were above this red line, which is the top end of VWAP, which I don't almost ever see a stock trading above that consistently. It's very unusual. Usually, you'll have like a blow off top past this area, and then it sells off. So it was such a strong move, this ticker. And then now it's honestly trying again. This is really insane, and I'm a little bit nervous that SPI might come out with an offering. I could see there being some sort of offering news. I would be a little bit nervous, I'm not going to lie. This technically is a huge buy indicator. So breakout here, pulling back. I mean, 916, it's almost crazy for me not to trade this right now. I'm not going to lie. It's massively crazy. It's a little bit risky because it's later in the day, but this is a massive buying opportunity. I mean, it's only 1 p.m. over there, 12:54 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to be exact. So this is a great setup. And for this setup, I'd have like 950 as resistance. Or as support, right? So that's where I'd be stopping out, and then I'd be looking for a break above 10. So it's pretty decent risk reward. You're kind of risking here, I don't know, 2% or so for a nice move higher. So just let's see, 9.5. So yeah, move there would be a 12%, and then you're risking here, I don't know, maybe 3, 4, 5%. So it's a great setup. The reason I'm not trading SPI right now is because I'm kind of done for the day, and when I wrap up trading for the day and I then take a loss on a setup, it hurts much more than even an amazing trade, right? And that's how I know I shouldn't be trading anymore, because I'm super sensitive to losses at this point of day, and a win just doesn't even feel that great. So knowing that, I just kind of want to wrap up at one point. At one point, you got to throw in the towel and you got to be like, I'm done for the day. I don't know. That's how I'm able to be very consistent. Just managing my own kind of personal self, because that's sometimes the biggest hurdle with trading. So where do we think SPI is going to go? Well, like I said before, this is a huge move already. We know there's a bigger resistance right around $15. So maybe we will see 15.50. Again, I'm a little bit skeptical, but at the same time, like I said, we see stocks go from $1, $2, $3 to like $50, $60, $70. It happens. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens a handful of times over the course of the year. Usually it's moved like from $2 to $7 or something like that, or $9. This is a really strong move so far. Kind of makes me think maybe we're going to see a second day on it. SPI, has these kind of sometimes multi-day runs. Here's a strong pullback, but here's a little bit of a multi-day run. I don't know. I really don't like their long-term chart, so I probably would not be trading this one overnight. I think once this one dips, it's going to dip hard. I think there's going to be maybe some offering or something like that coming out. I don't know. I'm a little bit shaky on this one. I'm not going to lie. Maybe I'm overly pessimistic. I'm not totally sure. I always have a hard time day trading and predicting foreign companies a little bit more, because I don't have as much of a feel for it. But at the same time, like I said, we're not really trying to predict anything. The way I would go about SPI is I would be day trading this one, right? Just like here, this pullback, like I said, buying the pullback with the support underneath, and that was a 14% move. Boom, just like that. And do like 3, 4, 5 of those, and you're looking pretty good. And that's exactly what we did today. Missed a lot of the big moves. I still wasn't using massive size, still trading under 4,000 on average position size, but I would like to get into that $5,000, $10,000 zone by the end of the year. $10,000 by the end of the year, kind of $5,000 as my average. Maybe by next month. That would be pretty sweet. I think we're on track to do that. All right, guys, I think that's everything for this video. Let me know, what are you thinking about SPI? Where do you think it's going to go? Do you think it's going to hold overnight? I would love to hear what you guys think about this ticker, and maybe we'll see it tomorrow. I'm genuinely curious if we're going to see this ticker tomorrow. Right now it's at 11:23. My next estimate for this one, like I said before, is that $15 zone right here. There is resistance at 12.5, but I think this kind of 15.5 zone is going to be the really interesting one to see, because right now we're still just kind of getting started here on this breakout. So there is a good chance that we might break past 12. This is going to be good fun. I know we're going to be talking about this one tomorrow. Don't forget to check out the stream, guys, if you are curious about learning more what we do, day trading and swing trading. I'll see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. Drop a like if you enjoyed the content, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Till then, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao, guys.